that's how the spider spun her web. Everything always leads back to Soho House. So I'm not surprised that she's back full circle where she started.
Breaking right now, Meghan Markle has made another public appearance without Prince Harry. But of course, cackling infinitum. Isn't she the most funny, laid-back person in the room? Look, I'm going to tell you how the Daily Mail reported this. They write that she appeared in great spirits as she stepped out to attend a friend's pink-themed baby shower. This was for Samantha Stone. You're not going to be surprised where Samantha Stone works. Soho House. She's the chief membership officer. These are the types of friends that Meghan has these days. In the picture, she's alongside what the Daily Mail describes as her BFF, Kelly McKee-Zafan. And she couldn't hold back her smile as she seemingly admired her friend's baby bump while wearing a £271 strapless pink dress from Posse. According to Tasha Canal, with me live now. Tasha, this is really interesting, isn't it? Because yet again, it's another appearance where Meghan wants to show to the world that she's so happy, so unbelievably happy, but again, no sign of Harry.
Meghan's doing that typical thing that we're getting used to seeing her now, where she's dancing, she's having the best time, and it's that whole thing, dance like no one's watching. But Meghan does know that people are watching. She knows where the cameras are. She knows when people are taking video clips, and she just puts on this. She's having the most fun time out of everybody in that room every time that there's a photo released. And yeah, it's not surprising really, but again without Harry.
And Tash, what do we know about this friendship with Samantha Stone? Is she part of the Soho House crew who effectively helped set Harry and Meghan up?
I'm not so sure about Samantha. The other person in that photograph is Marcus Anderson. He's the original BFF. And I think that Soho House obviously is the whole reason why Meghan managed to get so heavily involved with the royal family as quick as she did through the networking that particular organisation provided. But yes, there's Marcus Anderson there, and I think he's like the global ambassador of Soho House. It's always been connected. Through Marcus, she made friends with Misha Nunu. Misha Nunu was obviously married to, well, I say obviously, it's not obvious, but she was married to Alexander Gilks or Gillies, I can't remember his surname now, but he was a good friend of Prince William and Harry's. They went to Eton together. So, of course, she knew nothing about Harry despite going on holiday continuously with Misha Nunu and Marcus Anderson. Then she got introduced, obviously, to Princess Eugenie, and that's how the spider spun her web. Everything always leads back to Soho House. So I'm not surprised that she's back full circle where she started.
And what's interesting, Tash, about the fact that Marcus Anderson is in that picture is it means Harry could have gone. This wasn't a lady-only event.
That's true. That's true. It could be a mixed event. I mean, my understanding is he's a gay man as well, and they're always accepted into the circles of hen nights and baby showers. And
yes, we are.
But,
yes, we are.
Yes, you are. You know you are.
So you
You're
don't think
girls.
Harry? You think we should accept that Harry doesn't want to be there in the pastel pinks? We'll give him that.
No, I mean, yeah.
The problem is, Tash, he doesn't seem to want to be anywhere with his wife. That's the issue.
And he doesn't know how to smile anymore, Dan. He doesn't know how to have fun anymore. He just has that permanent scowl on his face. He just oozes misery. So going somewhere where Meghan's having fun, Harry would just be in the corner brooding.
The thing is, Tash, this photo, I'm sorry, it's fake. It is fake. Now, we know how... I don't mean it's fake as in it's somehow been manipulated, but this is not a natural photo. Angela Levin was on earlier in the week talking about that deranged, demonic laugh. this is actually not a happy woman, is it? This is a woman who is trying to show to the world, I'm so happy. And she didn't used to be this extreme in terms of her pictures.
She looks exactly the same. When we saw her at I think it was the KD Lee, she was celebrating her new makeup line. It was a very similar expression when she was at the Beyonce concert and someone just magically happened to film her, and Meghan was totally okay with that. She busted out her best moves. And it's the same face. And I guess it's her showing that she's really, really happy. And maybe she is away from Harry. Who knows? I mean, he is such a misery these days. I'm sure that she does have more fun when she's out partying with her friends. But for a couple that are accusing everybody of trolling them by daring to say anything about their marriage, they certainly are pouring petrol onto onto that particular fire.
Yeah, indeed. And you look at the types of people who have liked this picture, and that's quite telling as well. Jennifer Aniston, the Hollywood superstar. But of course, she's someone who has also distanced herself publicly from Harry and Meghan. So it's very interesting. Now, speaking of Harry's misery, Tash, you were very taken by his interview, his deal book interview. But you've posted on X that the one thing that stuck out for you the most was that Harry is accusing the news group, that's The Sun, The Times, of witness intimidation. He said since he started the case, they've targeted his wife and children. That's a pretty big accusation. And I found that extraordinary too, Tash. I mean, it's highly possible that I may end up giving evidence in this case. I am absolutely prepared to do so because all of my journalism when it came to Prince Harry was above board, and I will stand by it, and I will stand by it under oath. I have no problem with that, presenting the other side. That's not to say that there weren't terrible things that went on before I worked for this company, but in terms of when I was there, all of my leaks were because Harry and Meghan were just acting terribly and people wanted the truth out. So I'm more than happy to do that. But I agree, surely News UK could actually have a case against him because you can't say that witness intimidation is breaking true stories. What, the fact that I broke Megxit, for example, is somehow witness intimidation? The guy's mad.
I mean, it's such a huge accusation, really, when you think about it. As I said, I sat there. I don't know how I managed to get through it, to be honest, but I sat there and watched the whole interview. And that was the one where I was like, he is accusing them of trying to intimidate him into silence. That's witness intimidation. That is such a huge accusation to throw out there, especially on on an interview for the New York Times whilst in the middle of the court case. I mean, the trial starts in January, and he's just throwing that out casually. Oh, ever since I decided to go after Murdoch, they've been coming after my wife and children. I'd be very surprised if they don't use that to their advantage at some point. Because again, like everything with Harry, he seems to have no evidence. He says these things, but we've had previous court cases and he didn't have evidence in those. So if he did have any, surely he would have presented it by now. And to then just casually throw that out, oh yes, they're trying to, harass my wife and my children. Again, that added extra bit of emotional manipulation, trying to turn this into already a kangaroo court using the public by bringing up the children, saying they're being targeted. Of course, that's going to rile people up. He's trying to manipulate people already.
There's been another big blow for Prince Harry, though, overnight. This is from Newsweek, and it's worth actually going into this article a little bit, actually. As Sonia Patterson, just to set it up, she posted on X, new developments reported by Jack Royston regarding the newest filings by the Heritage Foundation regarding Prince Harry's visa case. So let's run through this, Tash. Jump in if there's anything that you want to add. But Newsweek reports a right-wing think tank has argued there was no proper method by which Prince Harry could have been admitted to America. This is in a court filing. They argue Harry would have been required to disclose any past drug use during the immigration process and say that if he was honest about it, then he should have been denied entry to America. Obviously, the case was dismissed back in September. Some people will remember that. But Heritage is now arguing that it denied them a chance to challenge private disclosures to the judge. And Newsweek have seen the filing by Heritage, which says Heritage submitted there was no proper method by which the Duke of Sussex could have been admitted. Thus, Heritage's point is that if DHS paroled the Duke of Sussex into the country in the same manner as illegal aliens pouring over the nation's southern border, that would be so illogical and illegal that Heritage did not even think it an issue. The government, in another finding said by Newsweek, said the evidence before the court plainly sufficed to show that Heritage's speculation of impropriety was unfounded. But I'm not thinking this is looking good for Harry, Tash, because with the Trump administration coming in, of course, it is going to be very important to actually prove that America is tough on border security, because that is Trump's number one issue.
The thing is, you can't have one rule for the rich and one rule for everybody else. And even with the rich, I mean, Harry seems to be able to get away with more than most. I remember Nigella Lawson. She wasn't allowed to return to the USA due to her admission of drugs. Liam Payne, I mean, awful tragedy recently, but the reason why he was in Argentina for as long as he was, he had to extend his stay because he'd openly admitted he'd had a few issues. The US were not permitting him to come back into the country until he jumped through lots of hoops. Yet Harry comes and goes as freely as he likes, and he's admitted to taking lots of drugs, all different types of drugs. I know marijuana is legal in a couple of states in America, but he's admitted to a lot. And they weren't just things that he did when he was a teenager or in his 20s, when he had to go, when Charles made him go to rehab. These are things that he was bragging about openly doing at Courtney Cox's house in 2016, which she obviously had to come out and deny. But Harry has been very open and quite happily throws other people under the bus, yet he's still been allowed to leave the country and come back. No investigation, no drugs tests, no loopholes. They're not putting him through anything. So it's very obvious that Harry is having some sort of extra protection, whether it comes through the type of visa that he's on or it is the Biden administration. And that's all about to change. Harry has very much lost the upper hand. Whilst I don't think that Donald Trump's on a personal vendetta against Harry, he's certainly not going to allow his administration to cover up anything or to hide anything merely because of who Prince Harry's daddy is.
Indeed. And the only way that I can see around this, according to Nima Rahmani, who is a president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, is that Harry might be able to get a waiver by arguing his drug use is in remission. Someone is considered in remission after a year of sobriety. However, Tash, a waiver request requires a doctor to submit medical documentation. Now, does Harry really want to be submitting to a drug test? Marijuana is legal in the state where he lives, but the other substances that he boasted about in Spare most definitely are not.
No, I mean, I'm sure that he's got people around him that he can have a doctor, a friend of a doctor that can write these notes. It depends how they actually do proper tests on him. I mean, I have got no idea. I wouldn't like to speculate whether Harry still takes drugs or he doesn't take drugs. But the point is, he has admitted to doing drugs. Other people are not afforded the same luxuries as him. And people want to know why. Why is he not being asked to leave the United States? Why is he not having to do these tests, despite obviously recently admitting of his drug usage, which obviously people knew anyway? So he either lied to come into the country and lied on his visa paperwork. And if so, if it turns out he lied, then he needs to be ejected and then reapply and get his lawyers on the case. But the worst bit is, and I think that's what other people want to know more, is if he did tell the truth and for some reason he was allowed a freebie purely because, well, let's be honest, he's just a rich celebrity now, isn't he? Then, you know, that's not a rule for what is it? A rule for thee, but not for me. I mean,
Yes,
that can't
indeed.
be allowed.
Indeed. But Tash, how delicious was it seeing Trump and William together? Because
Yeah.
we just know that Harry and Meghan were hitting the roof. This is the
Oh,
man they
fuming.
hate more than anything. And William made his feelings towards Trump incredibly clear. And that's pretty fascinating given the things that Trump has said about Meghan. Although, hilariously, William probably feels even stronger than the US president-elect, right? What did you make of this meeting, Tash?
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, for the moment they saw each other in the cathedral, the reopening of the Notre Dame, um, they just had a genuine warmth between them. I mean, it looked like he was trying to break the French president's hand when he said hello to him. But with William, I think it was like a soft affection between the two, and especially when they met up at the British Embassy afterwards. He does. Obviously, Donald Trump has made it very clear. It's obvious to see he has a lot of respect for the late Queen Elizabeth, and he likes Charles, and he's spoken so, and he likes all of the royal family, apart from obviously Meghan and Harry, which he's also been vocal about. But in his defense, they've been very vocal about their dislike for him, Meghan especially. But yes, I can imagine some plates are being smashed at the thought of it. But Harry might think that those two were talking about him, however, but I doubt he even got mentioned by either one of them. I mean, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall, obviously, but I can't see that either of those two, with the important roles that they have, the jobs that they have to do, that Harry and Meghan are just not that important in the grander scheme of things. And they are becoming more and more insignificant. They are little more than the joke that's at the back page of the newspaper these days.
Yeah, and how fascinating exactly that they have become this irrelevance. Okay, according to Taz, stand by because really bad news for Harry and Meghan when it comes to Polo. We're going to talk about that, and I'll tell you what in just 1 minute. So don't go anywhere. Much more from According to Taz shortly. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance, he says, and some can even be harmful to your skin. Recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? So that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He says it's almost like Photoshop for your face. You may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. Now, his personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. If this helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped, Dr. Lake commented. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer even commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out much more about this yourself right now. You just need to go to bhmd1.com/outspoken, or probably much easier to just click on the link in the description box below. But let me repeat, www.bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing Dr. Lake asked from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video, bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show. And according to Taz is back with me, the disaster for Harry and Meghan when it comes to their Netflix deal grows by the day. Look at this, Tash. I did it with the US shows yesterday. Not one in the Netflix top 10. Now in the UK, it's the same thing. But what's more fascinating is that pro-Harry and Meghan media are even starting to turn on them. Remember the cut that Meghan granted that cringeworthy interview to? Their headline over this ridiculous show, Polo, is damning. They write, Meghan and Harry's projects can't stop flopping. Of course, that's a long way from the Meghan of Montecito piece that we see there. And I have to say, Tash, I feel like Netflix is trolling me on this, right? Because literally, while I've been sitting here, look at what's just come into my inbox, Tash. What did you think of Polo? Do they really have to ask? What I find most ridiculous, though, right down the bottom there, ready for more? Inspiring, heartfelt docuseries? No. There was nothing heartfelt or inspiring about this at all. It was a piece of trash, but I'm into good trash. Do you know what I mean? I'm all for a bit of a trash reality series. This was just bad on so many levels. But what do you make, Tash, of the fact that even publications like The Cut are now turning on Meghan and Harry? It's almost like the flops are becoming impossible to avoid, no matter where you stand politically, no matter where on the media spectrum you are.
I mean, it was just a matter of time, really. You can't defend this level of hackiness, I suppose. I mean, some of the reviews have been really, really savage. And like you said, some of them are from actual pro-Harry and Meghan media outlets. And very few people are letting them get away with this, trying to be positive about it. 1 star, 2 star. I think someone said if I could give it -1, I would. It's obnoxious, it's tacky, it's stupid. I mean, it's absolutely being destroyed, but by even polo players are destroying this. There's no coming back from that. That people that used to play polo with Prince Harry have said that it is just awful. It's almost hilarious if it wasn't so bad. Yeah, I mean, how can people continuously defend them over being paid millions from Netflix to produce just crap? It really is crap. I mean, I unlike you, Dan, I decided to let you take one for the team. I'm not going to sit there for 5 hours of that. But from
do it.
The clips I've seen, and you know, the footage that I've seen, and everything that people have written about it, it just looks truly atrocious.
Don't do it. I have watched it, so you don't have to, Tash. And of course, you can watch my review with Angela Levin if you go and look at our royal playlist on YouTube. But Angela Levin, bless her, she fell asleep. That's how bad it was, honestly. But there is a serious aspect to this, though, which is that they are so hypocritical when it comes to what they say and what they do. And we know this, we know there's been lots of occasions of it, but I think Polo, Tash, is one of the most egregious examples because honestly, the characters in Polo are highly unsavory for a whole load of reasons. They are bullying. That is something that Harry and Meghan claim to speak out against. And the entire thing is steeped in what the old Meghan would have described as misogyny. Now, by the way, I don't sign up to that, Tash. I'm completely fine if the men want to play the sport where they hit the horses in a real horrible way. I mean, I'm not fine with that, but you know what I'm saying. And the women want to drink champagne and sit on the sidelines looking gorgeous. But that goes against every philosophy that Meghan has claimed to support for her entire career.
She's basically sitting there like a Stepford wife at the edges, clapping and quaffing champagne with the other plastic pumped up ladies. And, you know, watching the men do man things, you know, was it toxic masculinity she's preached about at times? And there she is making herself look pretty when she has attacked Catherine in the past. You know, royal ladies have just dressed like clothes horses. They just stand on the sidelines. And here she is being a total, utter hypocrite, just like her husband. And as for them, I mean, do you remember, Dan? It was educational programming that would uplift and warm even the coldest of hearts.
God.
The only thing uplifting is people's shirts, apparently, on this show.
Yeah, and Closer Magazine is reporting that actually her argument is, oh, no, we wanted it to be more serious, but Netflix wants more of a reality feel. I mean,
They'll blame someone.
Of course. It's just done. It's over. It's awful. And the fact that people are not even hate watching this, I think, is what's particularly interesting, Tash, because it's not even so bad that you want to watch it. Like,
no, you know
anyone
me,
who I've spoken to says that they give up before the end of the first episode. There's just no one that you really care about. The sport is so bizarre. And as I say, it's just a whole load of bullying rich people. And what I find fascinating is I'm like, yep, they're the people that Harry hangs around with. That's what it's all about. And unfortunately, I can't see them. I mean, part of me, well, I can't see this getting a series 2, put it that way.
No, I can't see it either. I mean, as I said, the reviews are savage. Yours particularly, Dan. I watched a clip on X this morning, which had me in hysterics. I mean, it made me almost want to watch it. But yes, I mean, there's no coming back from this. I mean, they ploughed millions into these two, and I think it's going to be the biggest, most embarrassing deal when it finally finishes. I mean, they got the 6-part documentary, which was, you know, them trashing the royal family. Live to Lead went completely unnoticed. And again, something very similar. Most people fell asleep through it. It was completely boring and tiresome. And it was just them doing voiceovers on a show that was already practically completed anyway. They just added Harry and Meghan in. I mean, it's minimal effort from them, which the reason why every deal, everything that they have done, they have put in absolute minimal effort. They've demanded the big bucks, but they have actually come together and they have produced Zip.
Yeah. Not our words, Tash. Effing grifters. Not our words.
Yes.
Their boss at Spotify, the highly respected Bill Simmons. Look, Tash, just before you go, just want to ask you about the whole Paley Centre Honors thing. What's been your take on it? Was it surprising to you that Meghan was not allowed up on stage, yet Kerry Washington and Oprah Winfrey were?
I did find that surprising. Now, there was lots of people saying that Meghan gate crashed the carpet. She wasn't meant to be there. She was there. She was always going to be there.
Yeah, because she's on the committee.
Yes, and her name was on the table. They had little name tags on there. But I was very surprised when everybody that she made a point of being photographed with, the fact that she was plonked next to Kerry Washington and Tyler Perry, and then Oprah was round next to Tyler the other side. And the fact that she didn't go up, she wasn't allowed on stage, there was no speech from Meghan. I can imagine that was a big issue. But I found that I didn't know what to make of it, really, because I guess they know that if you let that woman near a microphone, she'd probably budge Tyler off from collecting his awards.
And what of course, Tyler Perry didn't even well, I think Tyler Perry's getting annoyed that everything he does is overshadowed by the Meghan show. He didn't even want to mention her at all in the Sunday Times interview, not even a reference, not even she's a great friend, but I'm not going to talk about her for this reason. Yeah,
that's true.
And I thought what was really telling, Tash, this actually was the most telling thing for me. People haven't picked up on it, but on the official invitation, their names were last. And it wasn't last, by the way, in a sort of, this is because they're the best way, because the way that the invitation was ordered was very much like a rank of star potential in America. And I just thought, wow, there it is. And I just thought, wow, that shows you how hard they have fallen. Because when you look at some of those names on that list, they're not actually massive stars. But yeah, so that's what I thought. I thought it was another car crash. And
I guess maybe my final thought on that, Dan, is probably Tyler Perry he's got an ego himself. And like you said, everything that he does, and Meghan's there, all of the headlines were Meghan. It was his big moment. He was the one that was getting the Paley Award. And you typed in Tyler Perry, even now on Google, it's just a sea of images of Meghan.
Totally. Just about Meghan, because she wanted to own that red carpet. And actually, I haven't looked into this myself, but Lady C said to me that Tyler Perry is actually very different to Meghan because he's fallen out, I believe, with his father. And they don't speak, or he's estranged from his father, but he still funds his life because he's a generous guy. And I thought, wow, that's a really interesting point too. But look, according to Taz, you know I love having you. You know I love your channel. Your most recent video actually got me to sleep last night, but in the best way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to go to sleep because I need to keep listening to it. So you've got to follow, according to Taz, on YouTube. I absolutely love it. And goodness me, will we speak before next year? Maybe not. If not, have an incredible Christmas and New Year. But we may well speak before then, Tash.
I'll no doubt send you a drunk WhatsApp on New Year's Eve or something. Wishing you well. I expect that. All right, Dan, you take care of yourself. Great to see you. And I'll see you again. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.